Frizz Yellow CFA is working for Croch Investments Inc. He finds his income from employment insufficient to meet his family expenses. This is always insufficient, beat anyone, and hence is considering starting independent work on free time at weekends. Okay. The job is non-competing in nature. Standard guidances in that part there is something called non-competing and then linked with recommendation. What should be reported? If even if the what did the standard said? Even if the job is non-competing in nature, even if the job is non-competing in nature, you will or you are required to report few things to your employer. Number one, time. Number two, duration of employment. Number two, quality or type of work. And number three, remuneration. Because why these three things are, and you have to take permission. Even if it is non-competing, you will have to take a prior permission. Why? Because your time will help him decide whether you will be able to devote sufficient time at work or not. If in weekends you are stretched out, because that is given to you for your rest so that you can come on Monday and work properly for 5 days. Every human needs a rest. They need an adequate time. And if you are not getting that adequate time on weekends, definitely on weekdays your performance is going to be compromised. So that duration, that amount and all those things will help your employer judge whether this is going to have an impact on that, even though it is a non-compete. Competing is never allowed. Competing you cannot do. Non-competing you can still, but means without employer consent. So non-competing you can still, but when doing non-competing, even in that situation, prior written consent is required. So so the job is non-competing in nature and is not related to investment profession. Yellow starts the job without giving any notice to his employer. Yellow is in violation. Yes. So let's see which one is an option. In violation of standard 4A, as even if the job is not competing in nature, he needs to inform and take prior consent from employer. True. But let's see B. In violation of standard 4A, because he is only allowed to do preparation for such service and cannot render such service while in. No, this is wrong, because preparation and all those criteria come when it is a competing you are entering into a competing independent practice, and you have already resigned and you are in the resignation period. When you are not in the resignation period, then this particular point doesn't crop up. So that is something which is not relevant. And not in violation of standard 4A, as the nature of service is non-competing and hence is not required to take explicit permission from employer. No, this is wrong. Even if it is non-competing, again I am repeating, even it is non-competing, then also you will have to take prior consent, because that will help your employer determine whether your quality of work on weekdays will be compromised or not. Suppose on Saturday and Sunday you are working for, out of 48 hours you are working for 30 or 35 hours. How can your employer or anyone expect that on Monday you will come up with the same efficiency as you would have come up in case you were not working and taking proper rest? You are not getting a proper resting time, and if you are not getting a proper resting time, definitely your health will be compromised in the long run, your quality, your work, and everything will get compromised. So that is something which is required. So A is the correct option, and here is the rationale for that. Whatever we have discussed or I have explained, that same thing is written here. You can read it, by the way.